go ahead and talk about food thoughts. Before you begin consuming a product of lower quality flavor profile, for example, diet soda, imagine that you ordered the higher quality version. Like thoughts, food requires time to gather energy. Savor the moment. Chew longer to absorb more nutrients. And taste the process. So let's walk through this. Before you begin consuming a product of lower quality flavor profile, like a diet soda versus a normal sugar soda, imagine that you ordered the higher quality version. So what this is trying to inspire is that when we are, it's not necessarily mind over matter, okay? It's not mind over matter, but sometimes we have these things called taste tests. And that's where you might have, 3 unmarked sodas, and the person there, they ask you, hey, will you try these? They're unmarked. Tell us which one you like the best. So you haven't been primed by knowing that, well, this one's $10 a can, and this one's $1 a can, and this one's 50 cents. There's none of that. You don't know which one is which. You're going by the actual substance of what's happening, and not just this idea of the brand, or you're not primed with the quality ahead of time. You make that distinction for yourself. And we've found in this world that so many people, they do find the lower quality versions of things, the things that are cheaper, not necessarily lower in quality, but just cheaper. They find them more appealing than the higher price varieties. And of course, there's a lot of cases of vice versa with that. But if you don't know that you're consuming something that was cheaper and you enjoy it more than something that was expensive, well, that helps us enjoy life a little bit easier, especially if we don't have that much money to spend. So it's kind of a bit of a mind over matter thing where you kind of want to imagine yourself eating something good when you're not eating something good. Because that way, you don't have to have this high barrier to entry to enjoy something. You're able to appreciate the more simple things in life, the basic things. You're not ever a victim, a prisoner of these more expensive things that I need to have that. You can actually enjoy the basic things in life, the things we can get at the corner store. But again, it's about mind over matter, and it might not work for everybody. But it's a food thought. And like thoughts, food requires time to gather energy. Savor the moment. Chew longer to absorb more nutrients, and taste the process. Taste the process. So in the book, The Celestine Prophecy, there is this passage in a couple of parts of the book, in fact. I read it about 10 years ago now. But basically they say, chew your food. Chew your food. Because the longer you chew it, the more our saliva and the process goes through, breaks things down, and then we can actually absorb more nutrients by chewing, and getting as much out of all of our food as possible. It's not just economically better, but it's actually nutritionally better in most cases, to chew our food. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. Of course, I am not a nutritionist. Seek subject matter experts and leave a comment below with your thoughts about nutrition and eating better. But most people would agree that, not only when you enjoy your food more, not only would you get more nutrients out of your food, but perhaps you may also lose weight because you're savoring the food longer. You're fooling your body or conditioning your body into believing that you've been eating longer than you have, eating more than you have. And this is actually a common psychological trick that nutritionists might recommend. Tricking your body into believing that it's eaten more than it has, so that you're satisfied sooner. and you don't need to eat as much. But again, seek those experts for more information on that. Like thoughts, food requires time to gather energy, to actually provide the sustenance, the nutrition that you've requested of it. Savor the moment. Don't rush through. My cat Cindy, well, when we give her a treat, she blows right through it. She just wants that quick fix. She almost swallows the treat before even chewing it. And I say, what's the point? It goes right to your stomach. You didn't get to savor it with your tongue and everything else. You didn't get to chew it and to absorb the juices and things. You just swallowed it whole. Of course, she's a cat. Her cognitive processes might not be as strong as ours in many ways. But they require time to gather energy, savor the moment, chew longer to absorb more nutrients, and taste the process. So in the book as well, there's a chapter, or at least I think there's several different concepts in the book. Check out the Celestine prophecy, by the way. It's a good read. It's a fun story to wrap around these sort of lifestyle concepts and life lessons. But they also talk about chasing coincidences and seeing where they lead you, things that appear, pattern recognition, where it seems to lead us. But it's no coincidence that chewing longer, there's so many benefits, but we're always in a hurry. We go to the fast food restaurant, we go to Dunkin' Donuts, and we're just blowing through our food. We're not sitting there. It's always this idea of we're out at the restaurant too. We have to eat at a certain speed. The people that eat slower, take their time, are they're not pushing too hard on their body. They're not trying to. They're not letting gas build up all in one spot and so forth. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, but there's all these little patterns you notice. And chewing longer, patience is a virtue, folks. Patience is a virtue. So it all goes together, and it's food for thought. Food thoughts.